Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, March 31st, 2021. Today we'll go over the results in the men's and women's regional finals from last night. We will go over the results from the NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball spring training. We'll go ahead to tonight's NBA and NHL games. By the way, the last of MLB spring training games were yesterday. We'll do my DH, starting pitching, and closer rankings. Latest news and notes. We'll preview tonight's episode of The Masked Singer and my best bet of the day. All right, we're going to start in college basketball. We'll go over the results from the men's regional final from last night, as the Gonzaga Bulldogs defeat the USC Trojans 85-66 in the West Regional Final, as Gonzaga advances to the Final Four again. They're 30-0, USC 25-8. Drew Tim, 20 points for Gonzaga. Isaiah Mobley had 18, 7, and 3 for USC, who had a nice run here to the Elite Eight as a 6th seed. Number 11, UCLA over number 1, Michigan, 51-49 in the East Regional Finals. UCLA is your Cinderella into the Final Four. No one saw this coming 3 weeks ago, but here we are. UCLA is 22-9, Michigan 23-5. Johnny Juzang, who's been marvelous in this tournament, kind of reminds me a little bit of former UConn star Shabazz Napier in the way that he's just single-handedly carrying this team to unexpected places. Juzang had 28, and Hunter Dickinson led Michigan in scoring with 11. And ultimately, the Isaiah Livers injury comes back to bite him in the Elite Eight. We thought it could have potentially been earlier, but it was much later against an unlikely opponent. So, your Final Four: Gonzaga, UCLA, Houston, and Baylor. So, out of my predictions, I was 3 for 4 in getting the Final Four teams correct. And the one that I missed was Alabama, who lost to UCLA in overtime. So, it's a little bit of a what if for Bama in a way, if they outscored UCLA in overtime, obviously they win, and I nailed my Final Four. So I was very close. This is the closest I've ever got for nailing the Final Four. Now I'm going to go over the results in the women's regional final from last night. 1-seeded South Carolina over 6-seeded Texas, 62-34 in the Hemisphere Regional Final. South Carolina, 26-4. Texas finishes a great year at 21-10. Zia Cook had 16 to lead South Carolina, and Audrey Warren had 13 for Texas. 1-seeded Stanford over 2-seeded Louisville, 78-63 in the Alamo Regional Final. As Stanford goes to the Final Four, they're 29-2. Louisville, 26-4. As Stanford has the big fourth quarter to put them away. Lexi Hull had 21 for Stanford, and Dana Evans had 24 and 3 assists for Louisville. So you got South Carolina, Stanford, UConn, and Arizona. So Arizona is the most surprising, obviously. I don't think anybody thought Arizona would come out of this region. A lot of people thought either Indiana or NC State. But here we are with Arizona. The women's tournament, more than other years, was very chalky. And trying to think of who was in play for Texas A&M was another one in play for the Mercado region. So good for Arizona. It'll be hard for them, I think, to win this, but we're going to have my picks for this on Friday's show, because the women's Final Four is Friday, the men's Final Four is Saturday, and the national championship for the men's is Monday, and then for the women's is on Easter Sunday, like it is usually every year. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. And we'll predict it on Friday's podcast. All right, now we'll move on to the NBA. We had a short window last night of games, and we will look ahead to tonight's slate as well. Hornets over the Wizards, 114-104. The Hornets 24-22. Washington 17-29. Terry Rozier had 27 for Charlotte. Rui Hachimura had a career game, 30 points. Nuggets over the 76ers, 104-95. The Nuggets are 29-18. Philly 32-15. Jamal Murray had 30 for Denver, and Tyrese Maxey had 13 for Philly. And Joel Embiid's potentially going to be coming back soon. So that's good for the Sixers. Magic over the Clippers, 103-96. Best bet in the drain. Orlando 16-31. Amazing upset. Clippers 32-17. Kawhi Leonard 28 points. And Chuma Okeke had 18 for Orlando. Suns over the Hawks, 117-110. The Suns 32-14. Atlanta 23-24. Devin Booker had 21 points for Phoenix. Bogdan Bogdanovic had 22 for Atlanta. All right, looking ahead to tonight's window, 7 o'clock, you have the Trailblazers and the Pistons. My line for this game is Portland by a whopping 21, total 224. And FanDuel has this at 7 and 222. I'm laying the 7 with Portland at minus 106. They have the best 3 or 4 players on the court in this game. So I'm laying the 7 with Portland at minus 106. Miami, Indiana. My projection is Heat 2.5, total 220. Meanwhile, it's Heat 2, total 217.5. I'm taking the over. Looks like all their guys are good to go. You say for Indiana, so I'm going over 217.5. Dallas and Boston, 7:30 on ESPN. I'm at Dallas 1, total 223.5. That could change with the status of Jaylen Brown. And Dallas is laying 1 at the moment. 223.5 is my projected total. If the total is 225 or higher, I'm betting the under. Or if it's 222 or lower, I'm taking the over. Rockets Nets, so James Harden against his old team. Brooklyn's a 21-point favorite, according to me. Total 227.5. And that's assuming that Harden and Irving play. And it's 14.5. I'm laying the 14.5 with Brooklyn. James Harden, big chip on his shoulder, and he's going to put up a big game against his ex-team. 8 o'clock, the Jazz and the Grizzlies. I'm at Jazz 14.5, total 224. Meanwhile, it's 5.5 and 227.5. I'm laying the 5.5 with the Jazz. They're dominant, and they're going to continue to be dominant. Memphis still doesn't have Jaren Jackson Jr., so I'm laying the 5.5. Knicks, Timberwolves. I'm at Knicks 14, total 218. Meanwhile, it's Knicks 3.5, total 218.5. I'm laying the 3.5 with the Knicks. The Timberwolves stink. That's all I need to know. Mitchell Robinson's obviously a big deal, but I've seen the Knicks win by more than 3 points without Mitchell Robinson before, so I'm going to lay the 3.5 with the Knicks. And they've won by more than 3 points without Mitchell Robinson against better teams than the Timberwolves, too. So I'm going to lay the 3.5 with the New York Knicks tonight. Raptors, Thunder. I'm at Thunder 1, total 221.5. You know, it's Raptors 7.5, total 222.5. Then that line tells me that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's not playing. And I forgot to factor in no Al Horford. So, I had to take just the Raptors by 3. And it's just weird that OKC just sent Horford home. And Horford's not a bad player. He's actually helped them at times this season. So Raptors by 3, total 221.5. I'm going to take the Thunder still. I don't know if they'll win, but I think they're going to cover the spread. 8:30 Kings Spurs. I'm at San Antonio by 1, total 227. Meanwhile, it's 2.5 and 230. I'm taking the under. I just think that they're overinflating these Kings totals. I know they can score and don't play any defense, but the Spurs don't have a great offense and they don't have a bad defense either. So I'm taking under 230. $10 ESPN. The Bucks and the Lakers. I'm at Bucks 9.5 total to 24.5. Most Bucks by 9 total to 21. I think that the market's been nailing these Laker lines without LeBron and Davis. I have no choice but to take the over here. Looks like Giannis will be back, because if Giannis wasn't back, then this line would have been Bucks favored, but not by much, because the Bucks have a better supporting cast around Giannis than the Lakers do around LeBron and Davis when they're both on the court. But say if it was no LeBron, no Giannis, it cancels each other out due to the presence of Anthony Davis. So, yeah. Bucks deserve to be this big of a favorite. Giannis is there. Because, like I said, if Giannis wasn't there, this line's different. So, I'm going to take the over. I think the Bucks offense will get going. Lakers defense is obviously worse without Davis and LeBron too, so I'm going to go over 221. And last but not least, the Bulls and the Suns. And my Suns 13.5 total, 223.5. Well, it's 7 and we don't have a total yet. I'm laying the 7 with the Suns. I like the Suns team a lot. I know the Bulls just got Nikola Vucevic, but I just think that the Suns are awesome, led by Chris Paul and Devin Booker. And I think that Chicago's defense can't stop them. So I'm laying the 7 with the Phoenix Suns tonight against the Bulls. Now I'm going to go over the NHL window from last night and look ahead to what I don't think is a busy slate for tonight. Rangers over the Capitals 5-2. A big win for the Rangers, keeping them kind of in the race in the East Division. They're 16-15-4. Washington 23-8-4. The number 3 started game with a goal, Capo Kakko. Number 2 started game, 30 saves on 32 shots. Igor Shesterkin, he kept them in that game. Number 1 started game with a goal and 2 assists, Artemi Panarin. Bruins come back and beat the Devils 5-4 in a shootout. The Bruins are 18-9-5. New Jersey 13-16-5. Number 3 started game with a shootout goal, Charlie Coyle. The number 2 started game with 3 assists, David Krejci. And the number 1 started the game with a goal and assist, Brad Marchand. Blue Jackets over the Lightning 3-1. The Jackets are 14-15-8. Tampa Bay 24-9-2. The number 3 started game with an assist, Zach Werenski. The number 2 started game, didn't have a point but played well, Victor Hedman. The number 1 started the game with 37 saves on 38 shots, Elvis Merzlikins, who really stepped up for Columbus in that one. Panthers over the Red Wings 4-1. The Panthers 23-9-4. Detroit 12-21-2. Or I'm sorry, 12-21-4. The number 3 started game with a goal, Jonathan Huberdeau. The number 2 started game with 35 saves on 36 shots, Sergei Bobrovsky. And the number 1 started the game with 2 goals, Carter Verhaeghe. Canadians over the Oilers 4-0. Montreal 15-8-9. Edmonton 22-14-1. If I'm not mistaken, I had the under in this game. That was correct. But I did not think that this would be the score. Number 3 started the game with 2 assists, Paul Byron. The number 2 started the game with a goal, Thomas Tatar. Number 1 started the game with 2 assists, Philip Deneau. Blackhawks over the Hurricanes 2-1. The Blackhawks 17-15-5. I correctly predicted them to win on the podcast yesterday. Carolina 23-8-3. The number 3 started game with a goal, Dylan Strome. The number 2 started game with 31 saves on 32 shots. The starting goalie for the Blackhawks, Kevin Lankinen, who's been awesome for them this season. And the number 1 started game with a goal, Alex DeBrincat. Preds over the Stars 3-2 in overtime on a game winner by Eli Tollivan. I think I had the Predators winning as well. Nashville 19-17-1. Dallas 11-12-10. Number 3 started game with a goal, Roman Josi. Number 2 started game with a goal and an assist, Kelly Jankrock. And the number 1 started the game with a goal and assist, Eli Tolvanen. All right, tonight's slate. only goes 6 deep. 7:30, the Flyers and the Sabres. I'm pretty surprised this game's not on NBCSN. Phillies minus 210. Buffalo's plus 176. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 114. Unders minus 140. Flyers minus 1.5 is plus 122. Buffalo plus 1.5 is minus 146. I'm going to lay the puck line with Buffalo. Buffalo, to me, really, I just betting against them on the puck line until they actually win a game. I know they came very, very close a couple days ago against these same Flyers. They had a 3-0 lead, but Sabres did the Sabres, choked it away. Philly comes from behind and wins it in overtime. So I'm going to lay the puck line with the Flyers. I think that was a little bit of a wake-up call for Philly. And by the way, Philly-Buffalo is on NBCSN. I just checked my guide. So I'm going to lay the puck line with Philadelphia. Maple Leaf Jets. The Leafs are minus 138. Winnipeg's plus 118. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Leafs minus 1.5 is plus 198. Jets plus 1.5 is minus 240. I like this Jets team. They're playing well. I think they could win this game, and I think they will. I think they'll pass the Leafs tonight in the standings. So give me the Jets plus 118 to win straight up. 9:30, the Coyotes and the Avalanche. The Avs are ridiculous minus 280. Arizona's plus 230. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Coyotes plus 1.5 is minus 104. Avs minus 1.5 is minus 115. I'm taking the over in this game as well. I think the market is finally starting to catch on with Coyotes over. So I'm going to go over 5.5 between the Coyotes and the Avs. 10 o'clock NBCSN, the Kings and the Golden Knights. The Kings are plus 190. Vegas is minus 230. Over under 5.5. Or it's even at minus 110 apiece. Kings plus 1.5 is minus 125. Vegas minus 1.5 is plus 104. I'm going to go under. Again, these two teams have been in low-scoring games. Good defenses, good goalies, so I'm going to go under 5.5. 10:30, the Flames and the Canucks. The Flames are minus 118. The Canucks are even money. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. The Flames minus 1.5 is plus 195. The Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 240. Ooh, this is a tough one. I'm going to go Flames money line at minus 118. I almost went Flames in regulation, but I could see a world where Vancouver's competitive in this game. I don't feel good about it, but I'm going to lay the minus 118 with the Flames. And last but not least, the Wild and the Sharks. The Wild are minus 158. The Sharks are plus 134. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 124. Unders plus 102. Wild minus 1.5 is plus 150. Sharks plus 1.5 is minus 182. This is a tough one. I'm going to go with the Wild in regulation at minus 110. I don't like this Sharks team very much. I've been anti-Sharks all year. So I'm going to lay the regulation line with the Wild at minus 110. All right, now I'm going to go over the last bit of MLB spring training games that took place yesterday. Twins and Pirates tied at 1, 7-inning game. Brian Hayes homered in the game. JT Brubaker started for Pittsburgh, and Matt Shoemaker started for Minnie. Rays over the Tigers 5-0 in 7 innings. The Rays went with opener Cody Reed. Michael Wacha went 3 innings in this game. Casey Mize went 4 2/3 and gave up 2 runs in this game. Braves over the Red Sox 5-3 in 7. Drew Smyly got the win. Martin Perez the loss. Mike Soroka actually got the save. So it looks like they're going to start him in the bullpen to begin the year. I'm high on Mike Soroka. And he's pretty high on my starting pitcher rankings as well, as you'll see. And Ozzie Albies homered in this game for Atlanta. Brewers over the Rangers 6-3. Brett Anderson the win. Mike Foltynewicz the loss. Colton Wong homered in this game for the Brewers. The Rockies over the White Sox 2-1 in 7. Robert Stevenson the win. for the Rockies. C.J. Cron hit a homer for them. Dylan Cease started for Chicago. And Austin Gomber started for Colorado. Diamondbacks over the Indians 3-2. Jose Ramirez and Jake Bauers homered for the Indians in this game. J.B. Bukauskas got the save for Arizona. Dodgers over the Angels 6-4. Dustin May the win. Jose Quintana the loss. Mookie Betts homered. Cody Bellinger homered. Mookie Betts homered again. Will Smith homered. And Phil Gosselin homered for the Angels. So, looks like the Dodgers are ready to go for opening day. It's going to be fun. And obviously, we'll go over the slate for tomorrow and pick all the games on the podcast tomorrow. We're going to stick in baseball, and we're going to do my DH rankings for the season. Only 15 players because the DH is just the American League this season. 15, Austin Hayes, Orioles. 14, Ty France, Mariners. 13, Rowdy Tellez, Blue Jays. 12, Miguel Cabrera, Tigers. 11, Mitch Moreland, Athletics. 10, Andrew Vaughn, White Sox. 9, Franmil Reyes, Indians. 8, Chris Davis, Rangers. 7, Austin Meadows, Rays. 6, Jorge Soler, Royals. 5, Yordan Alvarez, Astros. 4, Shohei Ohtani, Angels. 3, Giancarlo Stanton, Yankees. 2, Nelson Cruz, Twins. Number 1, JD Martinez, Red Sox. Martinez, I think, is poised for a big bounce-back year. Cruz is an Angels wonder. Stanton, I think, is poised for a big season, assuming he stays healthy. Ohtani, to me, he has to be good this year. I feel like that's somebody that people are just penciling in too soon. And same for Stanton, for that matter. But it's Ohtani more so than Stanton, because obviously Stanton people are critical of because he's a Yankee. And Alvarez is someone I think is going to have a good bounce-back year as well. Now the big one. Starting pitcher rankings. There's a ton of them. And without further ado, here we go. 166, Chris Flexen, Mariners. 165, Dalton Jeffries, Athletics. 164, Bruce Zimmerman, Orioles. 163, Jorge Lopez, Orioles. 162, Chichi Gonzalez, Rockies. 161, Steven Matz, Blue Jays. 160, Matt Harvey, Orioles. 159, Therese Gubal, Tigers. 158, Felix Hernandez, Orioles. 157, Kohei Arihara, Rangers. 156, Nick Nieder, Marlins. 155, Jeff Hoffman, Reds. 154, Logan Webb, Giants. 153, Jordan Lyles, Rangers. 152, Chris Archer, Rays. 151, Yusei Kikuchi, Mariners. 150, Nick Pivetta, Red Sox. 149, Julio Teheran, Tigers. 148, Matt Moore, Phillies. 147, Garrett Richards, Red Sox. 146, Alicia Hernandez, Marlins. 145, Jose De Leon, Reds. 144, Chase Anderson, Phillies. 143, Wade Miley, Reds. 142, John Gray, Rockies. 141, Jose Urena, Tigers. 140, Anthony DeSclafani, Giants. 139, J-Hap, Twins. 138, Trevor Cahill, Pirates. 137, Luke Weaver, Diamondbacks. 136, Carlos Rodon, White Sox. 135, Martin Perez, Red Sox. 134, Danny Duffy, Royals. 133, Matt Shoemaker, Twins. 132, Kyle Gibson, Rangers. 131, Chad Cole, Pirates. 130, Taylor Widener, Diamondbacks. 129, Trevor Williams, Cubs. 128, Adrian Hauser, Brewers. 127, Luis Garcia, Astros. 126, Kyle Wright, Braves. 125, Mitch Keller, Pirates. 124, Justice Sheffield, Mariners. 123, Trevor Rogers, Marlins. 122, Adrian Morjon, Padres. 121, Justin Dunn, Mariners. 120, TJ Zook, Blue Jays. 119, Dean Kremer, Orioles. 118, Dane Dunning, Rangers. 117, Logan Allen, Indians. 116, Adbert Alzolay, Cubs. 115, Casey Mize, Tigers. 114, Jose Quintana, Angels. 113, Tyler Anderson, Pirates. 112, Jake Arrieta, Cubs. 111, Johnny Cueto, Giants. 110, Brett Anderson, Brewers. 109, Mike Foltynewicz, Rangers. 108, Aaron Sanchez, Giants. 107, Daniel Ponce de Leon, Cardinals. 106, Joey Lucchesi, Mets. 105, Freddie Peralta, Brewers. 104, Joe Ross, Nationals. 103, Michael Pineda, Twins. 102, James Paxton, Mariners. 101, Drew Smyly, Braves. 100, Mike Minor, Royals. 99, Michael Wacha, Rays. 98, Tanner Roark, Blue Jays. 97, Alex Cobb, Angels. 96, Stephen Brault, Pirates. 95, Nathan Eovaldi, Red Sox. 94, Dylan Bundy, Angels. 93, Antonio Senzatella, Rockies. 92, Andrew Heaney, Angels. 91, John Gant, Cardinals. 90, Zach Eflin, Phillies. 89, Kevin Gossman, Giants. 88, Kyle Freeland, Rockies. 87, Zach Davies, Cubs. 86, Miles Mikolas, Cardinals. 85, Caleb Smith, Diamondbacks. 84, Taijuan Walker, Mets. 83, Corey Kluber, Yankees. 82, Rich Hill, Rays. 81, John Lester, Nationals. 80, Ross Stripling, Blue Jays. 79, Jordan Montgomery, Yankees. 78, Griffin Canning, Angels. 77, Pablo Lopez, Marlins. 76, Christian Javier, Astros. 75, Marco Gonzalez, Mariners. 74, Brandon Woodruff, Brewers. 73, Tyler Mahle, Reds. 72, Merrill Kelly, Diamondbacks. 71, Carlos Martinez, Cardinals. 70, Herman Marquez, Rockies. 69, Lance McCullers, Astros. 68, Ryan Yarbrough, Rays. 67, Sandy Alcantara, Marlins. 66, Matt Boyd, Tigers. 65, Robbie Ray, Blue Jays. 64, John Means, Orioles. 63, Brad Keller, Royals. 62, Austin Gomber, Rockies. 61, Joe Musgrove, Padres. 60, David Price, Dodgers. 59, Adam Wainwright, Cardinals. 58, Chris Bassett, A's. 57, Jose Urquidy, Astros. 57, David Peterson, Mets. 55, Corbin Burns, Brewers. 54, Tristan McKenzie, Indians. 53, Dylan Cease, White Sox. 52, Domingo Germán, Yankees. 51, Aaron Savali, Indians. 50, Brady Singer, Royals. 49, Dustin May, Dodgers. 48, Dakota Hudson, Cardinals. 47, Sixto Sanchez, Marlins. 46, Carlos Carrasco, Mets. 45, Noah Syndergaard, Mets. 44, Luis Severino, Yankees. 43, Jameson Taillon, Yankees. 42, Michael Kopech, White Sox. 41, Chris Sale, Red Sox. 40, Zach Greinke, Astros. 39, Marcus Stroman, Mets. 38, Madison Bumgarner, Diamondbacks. 37, Zach Wheeler, Phillies. 36, Chris Paddock, Padres. 35, Sonny Gray, Reds. 34, Justin Verlander, Astros. 33, Charlie Morton, Braves. 32, Jose Barrios, Twins. 31, Shohei Ohtani, Angels. 30, Zach Plesac, Indians. 29, Jesus Luzardo, Athletics. 28, Hyunjin Ryu, Blue Jays. 27, Patrick Corbin, Nationals. 26, Lance Lynn, White Sox. 25, Steven Strasburg, Nationals. 24, Ian Anderson, Braves. 23, Zach Gallen, Diamondbacks. 22, Frankie Montas, Athletics. 21, Dallas Keuchel, White Sox. 20, Kenta Maeda, Twins. 19, Julio Urias, Dodgers. 18, Kyle Hendricks, Cubs. 17, Sean Manaea, A's. 16, Max Fried, Braves. 15, Luis Castillo, Reds. 14, Danielson Lamet, Padres. 13, Yu Darvish, Padres. 12, Trevor Bauer, Dodgers. 11, Clayton Kershaw, Dodgers. 10, Jack Flaherty, Cardinals. 9, Aaron Nola, Phillies. 8, Lucas Giolito, White Sox. 7, Tyler Glasnow, Rays. 6, Mike Soroka, Braves. 5, Walker Buehler, Los Angeles Dodgers. 4, Max Scherzer, Washington Nationals. 3, Shane Bieber, Cleveland Indians. 2, Jacob deGrom, New York Mets. And number 1, Garrett Cole, New York Yankees. You could argue the top two for 1 and 2 respectively, but to me it came down to the fact that Jacob deGrom tends to have an injured list stint once a year over the past couple years. Meanwhile, Cole has been relatively healthy since leaving Pittsburgh. So that's what, to me, it comes down to. Bieber's been unbelievable. I think he'll be awesome again. Scherzer will be Scherzer. Buehler will make a big jump. I think Soroka's going to be awesome. Glasnow's going to have a big year in Tampa. Giolito will have an awesome year. Aaron Nola will keep that Phillies rotation somewhat afloat. Jack Flaherty will be better. And obviously that Dodger duo of Kershaw and Bauer will be awesome as well. And then that Padres duo of Darvish and Lamet. Let's pick your poison. And I think Castillo on the Reds will also have a big season ahead of him. Now I'm going to do my closer rankings, which will only be 30 guys, obviously, because there is one closer per team. 30, Jordan Romano, Blue Jays. 29, Daniel Bard, Rockies. 28, Anthony Bass, Marlins. 27, Rafael Montero, Mariners. 26, Gregory Soto, Tigers. 25, Tanner Scott, Orioles. 24, Ian Kennedy, Rangers. 23, Richard Rodriguez, Pirates. 22, Jake McGee, Giants. 21, Hector Neris, Phillies. 20, Adam Ottavino, Red Sox. 19, Craig Kimbrell, Cubs. 18, Greg Collin, Royals. 17, Emilio Pagan, Padres. 16, Alex Reyes, Cardinals. 15, Joaquin Soria, Diamondbacks. 14, Sean Doolittle, Reds. 13, Edwin Diaz, Mets. 12, Ryan Presley, Astros. 11, Alex Colomb, Twins. 10, Diego Castillo, Rays. 9, James Karinchak, Indians. 8, Will Smith, Braves. 7, Kenley Jansen, Dodgers. 6, Brad Hand, Nationals. 5, Rafael Iglesias, Angels. 4, Trevor Rosenthal, Athletics. 3, Aroldis Chapman, New York Yankees. 2, Liam Hendricks, Chicago White Sox. And number 1, Josh Hader, Milwaukee Brewers. I think Hader will have a big year. That could potentially result into a Brewers unexpected playoff push or a trade, perhaps. Hendricks was awesome last year with Oakland. Gets the big deal with the White Sox. Chapman is a good closer. One bad game a year always screws up his ERA. Rosenthal was awesome last year. Iglesias is really good, but he sometimes has those troubling outings like Chapman, as I was alluding to with him. All right, so there's your closer rankings for the season. And now I'm going to do my latest news and notes. Try to be quick here with the segment. The NFL announced the 17-game schedule yesterday. Historic day. So each team will get a 17th game, and that will likely be against an interconference opponent, but we shall see. Last season, the NFC East played the AFC North, and this upcoming season they'll play the AFC West. And the rumor is that they would get the inter league game against the AFC East. So that would be interesting. That's what I was told. And I just used the NFC East as an example of a division right there. So the interdivision or interconference games will remain the same every 4 years, but you'll play the conference that you played 2 seasons ago. A team from that conference you played 2 seasons ago. And that's how I got that NFC East example. Crazy story. The Utah Jazz plane had an emergency landing due to hitting a flock of birds. Just glad that everybody's okay with that. And obviously they're going to be playing their game tonight. The Brooklyn Nets explored a Kelly Oubre trade, but the Warriors rejected an offer involving Spencer Dinwiddie. That wouldn't have been a good trade for the Warriors because Dinwiddie would be in the same role as he is in Brooklyn as a sixth man. Jasmine Walker entered the draft as the Alabama star enters the 2021 WNBA draft. So that's obviously a big loss for that Alabama team. John Collins got injured in the game with the Suns last night with a sprained ankle, so he's going to be out for a while, it looks like. Terrence Ross is back for the Magic, so that's what helped them get that win. Something very scary happened last night in the first of the two Elite Eight games in the men's side that referee Bert Smith collapsed on the court in the middle of the game, or it was in the very beginning of the game, and was attended to medical personnel. It was a very scary scene. We all saw it in front of our very eyes on TV. And the ref turned out to be alert and stable. And he was not transported to a hospital after the collapse. So that's good that he was alert and talking and didn't have to go to the ER. Little pop culture and sports news here. Actor Michael Rappaport posts some homophobic direct message screenshots from Kevin Durant, who has responded to them on Twitter and Instagram. Michael Rappaport, obviously, we know is like a big-time actor. He's a big Knicks fan, so obviously he's going to take that personal because obviously Knicks fans wanted Durant to be a Knick, and Durant obviously is very notoriously known for doing stupid stuff on social media. So that was a story from last night. Some other things I want to touch on. The NFL announced that, Roger Goodell announced that they expect to have full capacity crowds for all 32 games come the season. We'll see about that. I think that is very strong optimism from Roger Goodell. I know that the sports commissioners have been in touch with the big-time people in the White House that are in the medical field, like Anthony Fauci. So maybe Fauci told Goodell that. But if that's true, then that is obviously something that Goodell would take seriously if that came from Fauci. So that's pretty promising news coming from the commissioner of the NFL. And more pop culture, sports-related news here. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers will be hosting Jeopardy for 2 weeks starting on Monday, April 5th, and continuing through the week of Monday, April 12th. So that is pretty good, as Jeopardy obviously is having guest hosts after the unfortunate passing of Alex Trebek. Now I'm going to preview tonight's episode of The Masked Singer. It's the return of Group B. We had a Black Swan, Grandpa Monster, the Chameleon, the Phoenix, and the Piglet. The Phoenix went home, and it was Caitlyn Jenner. The Black Swan had an intro clue of covered a monster. So I wonder if that means that she covered a T-Pain song or she covered a Shaka Khan song. Because obviously a monster, those are monsters on The Masked Singer. Or she covered Grandpa Monster song, but the issue is that the contestants don't know who their opponents are until after the show. That's how good Fox keeps a secret. They hint about being wanted. There's a 5, maybe Fifth Harmony. Maybe there are 5 members of a group that this person was belonged in. There's a castle, a red card, a diamond, the chess. She performed Barracuda by heart, and she said this was out of her comfort zone. Ken Jeong went with Anya Taylor-Joy. Jenny said Camila Cabello. And Nicole Scherzinger went with Leona Lewis. I think Jenny and Nicole had okay guesses. Grandpa Monster, there was an ocean. There were 6 X's and O's. There were a lot of numbers, 97%, 6.2 tons, a beach bar. And they hint about this is somebody that a lot of people were afraid of a long time ago. And this person performed Mambo No. 5 by Lou Bega. Robin went with Johnny Manziel because there's a lot of troubled hints as well. Jenny McCarthy went with Michael Mizanin, a.k.a. The Miz. And Ken Jeong went with Scott Disick. The Chameleons' intro clue was history with precious gemstones. So they must have had a past history with some big-time stars. There's a motorcycle, a Flag Army 007. I don't know what that means. A daddy picture. Is this person a dad, or does this person thinking about their dad? Are they close with their dad? He hinted about changing the game. Maybe this is a game changer for the show. They hinted about being a DJ on stage. And this person performed Ride With Me by Nelly. Ken Jeong went with Dwight Howard. My guess for this was Redfoo, and that's who Robin said, obviously, of LMFAO. And Nicole Scherzinger had a rough guess, ridiculous guess, of Nick Cannon. We talked about the Phoenix and how it was Caitlyn Jenner, and it made sense with the clues. And she performed TikTok by Kesha. There's a lot of babies because Caitlyn has a lot of kids. Hope score 81. The winner's circle, obviously, which alludes to Caitlyn, formerly of Bruce, with the track and field stuff. Caitlyn's an Emmy winner. That makes sense. And then the intro clue was one speed of 76 miles an hour. And that makes sense as well. I told you guys on the show that my first impression guess was Dale Jr. Nicole went with Jonathan Van Ness. Ken said Ruth Paul. And Jenny went with Caitlyn Jenner too. Piglet's intro clue was knows how to stay cool even in the heat. Things about love in the mud. 6 o'clock, a yellow feather. A fortune cookie. A lot of love hints. And this person performed Speechless by Dan and Shay. I have a guess for the Piglet. I think it's Ed Sheeran, the pop star. I won't be shocked if it's him. He's a star, and this would be a big get for the show. And the way this season's going, they've had a couple big-time stars. So it wouldn't be stunning if this is Ed Sheeran. Ken Jeong went with Adam Lambert, and Nicole Scherzinger went with Charlie Puth. And we talked about Caitlyn Jenner. My first impression guess was Dale Jr. My final guess was RuPaul. Robin's first impression guess was Laverne Cox, and he stuck with that. Nicole went with Perez Hilton, and she went with, for her final, Jonathan Bendez. Ken's first was Caitlyn Jenner. His final was RuPaul. And Jenny's first was Caitlyn Jenner, and her final was Caitlyn Jenner, and it was indeed Caitlyn Jenner. And then we're going to have another wild card contestant. In there, and we'll see who it is. Apparently it's something with claws, so it could be a dog. It could be a tiger. It could be a cat of some sort. And it's going to be interesting because there's so many good contestants. If I had to guess who goes home, it's either going to be whomever the wild card contestant is or Grandpa Monster. Alrighty. Last but not least, my best bet of the day. Brought to you by FanDuel. There's a couple games in the NBA that stood out to me in terms of where to go. I'm going to lay 3 units. Get a little bit greedy here at these picks. There's a couple that are good. I'm undecided between the Suns, the Blazers, or the Knicks. The Knicks don't have Mitchell Robinson. Portland has everybody. And Phoenix has everybody. I'm going to go with the Blazers and just lay a little bit of a heavier juice here. Lay a little bit of a heavier juice. And with the Blazers, like I said, 3 units on the Blazers tonight against the Detroit Pistons, who are just terrible. And to me, it comes down to the opponent. Detroit stinks, and the Bulls have Vucevic now. So I'm going to lay the 7 with Portland against the against the Pistons as my best bet of the day. All right, tomorrow's show will preview the opening day slate for Major League Baseball. And we'll go over the NBA and the NHL games from tonight and look ahead to tomorrow's slate. I'm going to do my top 100 overall players list for the season as my activity, news and notes, and obviously we'll recap Masked Singer as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.